first speaker this morning is the Honourable Member for Murchison.
Thank you, Mr President. Mr President, I'm sure any who follow me on social media would know that a great festival was recently held in Launceston. Why am I talking about a Launceston event? Because I have an interest in the event and I wish to declare this up front. I'm a member of the board of Junction, and the management team and board have been working very hard to ensure this event was the best ever. Well, Mr President, it was. As members for Launceston and Windermere would know, the opening night party was a great success, with hundreds of people converging on Princess Square. I assume primarily to see if we successfully filled the fountain with sparkling wine or not. The fountain bar was set up in a marquee in Princess Square for the duration of Junction and was well patronised indeed and packed every night. It was great to see so many people out and about on a Wednesday and Thursday night, as well as the usual nights for going out, Friday and Saturday nights. Whilst Junction relies on funding support, both financial and in kind, from a range of bodies, including the Tasmanian Government through Events Tasmania, the Launceston City Council, Winifred Booth Estate and others, raising money in fundraising events prior to the festival, ticket and bar sales are a very important aspect of ensuring the festival continues. Mr President, Junction has had a number of significant staff changes during the last year leading into this festival. My congratulations go to the team behind this event, including our previous Executive Director, Natalie DeVito, Steve Henty, the current General Manager, former Chair of the Board, Frith Loon, who's been with Junction for some time and is the producer, and we were very lucky to secure the services of Greg Clark as Creative Director. The team did an amazing job, supported by a range of many volunteers and some on contracts to support the festival, with many doing many more than their contracted hours to make it a success. Greg Clark is well known for his work with the Adelaide Fringe Festival, and he turned that festival into success that it currently is. Greg has also recently been engaged by the Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras to direct that huge event. We can only assume that is on the back of success with the Adelaide Fringe Festival and Junction. Mr President, to declare another interest, my daughter Jane Forrest, through her business, was engaged to undertake promotional and publicity work to grow media coverage of the event, both before and during the event. And part of her strategy was the development of the social media story, which ran in the lead up to the festival. The aim of the story was to get people talking about the festival without needing to talk about the art, which can be a little bit alienating for many. Together with the management team, she started a rumour that Junction was investigating the possibility of filling the Princess Square fountain with sparkling wine for the festival. The story was played out in video form on social media, and as I said, those that follow me would have seen this unfold and they also engaged Junction's major sponsors and the media to be part of these videos. Will Adkins from Perry was a great sport, investigating whether he could actually supply the said sparkling wine. Pitt and Sherry came on board to do the math on how much would be needed, and the Hotel Grand Chancellor kindly agreed to house the fountain's goldfish in their foyer fountain whilst the fountain was full of sparkling wine. The videos were a great success and started a great conversation about the festival that had nothing to do with the arts. The first video in the series reached over 11,000 people on social media. As the festival only finished just over a week ago, we don't have any of the final numbers yet. However, some things we do know about this year. Junction had more than 40 stories in mainstream media, including the festival, covering the festival, and these included 2 front-page stories in the Examiner. And that doesn't include any social media coverage from media, which is extensive and hard to actually account for. There were specific ticket sales spikes around the media coverage, and 38% of people heard about the festival through word of mouth, and the most cited reason for attending was that they'd heard many great things. More than 50% of the people who went to the festival had never attended before. More than 20 Junction events, that's about half the events, were sold out. This included the very popular Speakeasy in the Gospel Hall, a wonderful location at event, and thankfully we got in early and booked tickets to avoid disappointment. The ticket sales targets were exceeded. Bar sales are the largest ever for the festival, with a 70% increase. This represents a lot of people in the beautiful and historic Princess Square. As I said, Mr President, the final numbers are not confirmed, but there were no less than 5,000 people through Princess Square during the festival, and Princess Square wasn't the only location for events. Mr President, this was Junction's largest festival to date in terms of patron engagement. We saw a very broad age demographic, from babies in arms to 90-year-olds, a much broader demographic than this year than in the past. A random audience survey indicated 7% of the audience were from interstate and 10% were from outside the Greater Launceston area. There are a huge variety of events, and from the quite sophisticated and challenging village to the backyard bands to fluffy toy time and relax the chimp. You really had to be there. And if you weren't, well, Mr President, you really missed out. It was a huge success, and full acknowledgement must go to the great team behind the event. And I particularly wish to mention the Chair of Junction, Liz Frankham, who provided her vision for the festival this year utilising Princes Square. The vision was sound, and the results speak for themselves, with a lot of positive anecdotal evidence. Mr President, I encourage all members to mark in their diaries for next year as an event not to be missed.